I do. And then we're really just going to spend a lot of time having a lot of fun watching some exciting videos about storms. We're going to do lightning and hail and hurricanes and tornadoes. Okay, now a couple of rules, okay? Because we got to get through this. Some of these videos get very exciting, okay? These are storm chaser videos, so we're going to be up close in all this stuff. So just try to kind of, take it all in slowly. If you've got a question or a comment, save it till the very end, okay? I'm not going to call on anybody until the end so that we can get through all the videos, okay? And then at the end, if you guys are good, just take a group picture and we'll show it on the news tomorrow. So you guys get to be on TV tomorrow morning. Deal? All right, so let's go. So I work at ABC Action News. That is my job. I am a meteorologist. A meteorologist is a scientist that studies the weather. Now, my job is not just to tell you whether it's sunny or cloudy or cool or hot. That's part of it. But as you guys found out not long ago, my job, most important job, is to make sure that you're safe when we get bad storms. Did we just have a bad storm last month here? Yeah! 2 months ago there? Yeah? What was the name of that storm? Hurricane Irma, right? Yeah. Polk County, you guys were on the stronger side of the storm. I spent the storm in Tampa, and Tampa was on the weak side. Polk County got hit super hard by this hurricane, right? Did you guys lose power? Yeah. For a long time, right? Yeah, a really long time. Irma was really, really bad. So this is what I do. Now, if you want to be a meteorologist, there's 2 things you've got to like. Who here likes science? Okay, now, keep your hand up if you also like math. Good, okay, hands down. Meteorologists basically get paid to do science and math. Just think about it. Not only do I read numbers all the time, right? That's kind of the little bit of math that I do. But, you ever hear me talk about computer models? Sometimes meteorologists mention if computer models are showing that the storm is going to do this or that. Well, guess what? Those computer models, computers, they don't speak English. They speak in math. So to give them weather information, you have to be able to talk in math. Math is a language, and you've got to learn that math to be able to talk to them so they can give you that forecast. So math is a big part of what I do. You've got to go to college, and we're super lucky because Florida has one of the best meteorology schools in the country, and that's Florida State. That's where I went to school. If you're a Gator, it's okay. You can go get a journalism degree at UF, but UF does not have a meteorology degree. They kind of train. So you get your journalism degree at Florida and your meteorology degree at Florida State. And if you like hurricanes, Florida State is the #1 place to be because they are #1 in tropical meteorology. And if you like the University of Miami hurricanes, you can go there too for grad school. So you can go through all 3 schools and be a really great meteorologist if you'd like. I am not from Florida. I was born in Connecticut. And because my job has me moving, I have lived in Connecticut, Florida, that's where I went to school, Alabama, Arkansas, Ohio, and now I'm back in Florida. So I have seen every single type of storm imaginable, including a lot of tornadoes and hurricanes, which is what we'll talk about here. But before we get to all the exciting stuff, we kind of have to get the basics down. What causes the weather? I'm looking for one really short word. Shorter than that.
It can be rain, wind.
Shorter than that.
Made from a cloud.
Maybe a hint. It's really bright. The sun! The sun is the main reason why we have the weather. Here's what happens. The sun comes out and it actually heats the ground. It's not the air that gets hot from the sun, it's the ground. And you guys have felt this before. Even on a day when it's not really that hot, like yesterday it was kind of cool and earlier in the week it was kind of chilly. If you take your hand and put it on that sidewalk out there in the sun, what is it going to feel like? Hot. Well, guess what? It's the ground that soaks up most of the sun's energy. And then the ground starts to make the air that's touching it hot. Now that air near the ground starts to get hot, and it starts to move. Where does it go? What direction does it go in? Oh, wow, that's a big word. It's less complicated than that. That's a future meteorologist right there. He's already thinking about it. Oh, just like one of those. What's a hot air balloon? What's at the bottom of the balloon that makes it go up? Fire, right? The fire makes the air inside the balloon hot, and the hotter the balloon gets inside, the higher it goes. If you want it to stop going up, all you've got to do is turn off the fire, and it floats back down to the ground. This happens outside every day. It's actually happening outside right now. You woke up this morning, you were heading into school, beautiful blue sky, kind of a cool morning, real nice. Well, guess what? I just saw them when I was coming in. When you're heading home this afternoon, what's going to be floating in that sky? Little puffy what? Well, there may be some hot air balloons. Clouds! Guess what? Those clouds are created by that rising air. Everywhere you see a cloud, it's a little piece of the atmosphere that's floating up. You cannot get a cloud without the air going up. So everywhere you see a cloud, that's the air going up. Now, we're kind of going to fast forward through the simple stuff to the big stuff because I know it's fresh on your mind. The one storm that's really created by the most rising hot air is the hurricane. So hurricanes, big storms, and they form out here in the middle of the ocean. That's Florida right there. All of this is the big Atlantic Ocean, and that's where they form. That's where Irma formed. They formed right here. Between Florida and Africa, in the middle of the ocean, we were watching Irma over a week before it got here. We saw it going towards the islands. We saw it heading towards Puerto Rico and places like St. Martin, and then it went north of Cuba, and then it started getting close to Florida. We could watch it the whole time. Hurricanes are huge. So they can have winds of up to 200 miles an hour. And they look like this. They're big storms, big swirling area of clouds. And in the middle is what? The eye. Now, what is inside of the eye of the storm? Very clear. The eye of a hurricane is like the hole in a donut. What's inside the hole of a donut? Nothing. It's a hole. All the fun stuff is around the hole. That's how a hurricane works. Inside of the eye is a beautiful day. Clear skies, light winds, birds flying around, 82 degrees. Oh, it's nice. But to get inside of that eye, you've got to get through something called the eye wall. And those are all these clouds around the center of the storm. And that's where there's rain and wind and lightning and thunder, and in some cases, like in this hurricane, winds of 200 miles per hour. You see how it's dark in the middle of the storm? And you see how it's dark out here? This darkness here is the ocean. And what you're seeing here is the ocean as well. The camera in space can take a picture of the storm, and it sees right through the storm. The eye is like a hole. Now, if you could stand at the very top of the eye and kind of peer over and look down, it would be like sitting at the very top row of a big football stadium. When you sit at the very top row of a big football stadium, all the seats in front of you go out towards the field. That's what it would look like. The eye shrinks as you get down towards the ocean. It gets tighter, and that's where all the nasty winds are. This is the eye of Hurricane Irma. See this big hole here? That's the ocean right there. And these here are islands. Pay attention to that one right there. Watch what happened. This was about 3 or 4 days before it got to us. Look at that. The eye was so big, this whole island fit inside of the eye of the storm. Now, you remember how strong Irma was? It was what? Anybody know the category? Higher? Oh, a 5. It was a 5. We rank hurricanes from 1, which is like the little weak ones, to a 5, which is like super strong. This is when it was a 5. And the winds inside of the storm were 185 miles an hour. So, if you were to be on this island, here's how this works. 10 hours before the eye gets to you, it gets cloudy. 2 hours later, it starts to rain. An hour later, it gets a little breezy. Then the wind starts increasing to 30 miles an hour, 40, 50, 60, 70, and it just slowly builds until you get to about 10 miles from that eye. Suddenly, the winds increase to 185 miles an hour for only about 25 to 30 minutes, and then they stop. And now you're inside of the eye. The sun comes out, the wind dies down, it's perfectly quiet, but you've got to stay inside because the backside of the eye is heading your way. And as you enter the backside of the eye, it happens really fast. Suddenly you go from clear skies to winds of 185 miles an hour all over again. And then they slowly decrease as the storm moves away. This could take 18 hours to happen. It's a slow process. Here's what the winds look like inside of a hurricane. I'll turn this audio down. This guy can barely stand, and these winds are only 70 miles an hour right here. He's slipping. The wind is only 70 miles an hour. He already can't stand. So if the winds were 185, there's no way you'd be able to stand up. That's how strong they are. And there is palms blowing around and leaves and all kinds of stuff flying through the air. But believe it or not, unless you're in a category 5, and with a 5 or a 4, wind is a big problem. The biggest problem with a hurricane is not the wind. What is it? No. 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 Yeah, the water. It's called storm surge. Have you guys heard of this before? Yeah. Okay, so here's what it is. Have you guys ever seen somebody like sweep a floor with a broom? Right? And as they're sweeping, well, there's a little pile of dust ahead of the broom, right? And you take that little pile of dust and you put it in the pan and you throw it away. Well, when a hurricane is going over the ocean, the wind is pushing the water. It's sweeping it. And out ahead of the storm, there's a little pile of water. It's actually a big pile. Sometimes it could be 20 or 30 feet high. And it just travels with the storm. Now, when the storm is in the middle of the ocean, it's okay. But when it gets to the beach, when it gets to land, guess what? That little pile of water, it gets pushed right in. And things start to flood. It's kind of the craziest thing you'll ever see in a storm. Because, have you been to the beach before? Yeah, I was there just last week. You go to the ocean, and you can stand right in front of it, and it's never going to come at you. It stays out there, and I stay out here. Well, during a hurricane, suddenly, all that water out there, it starts to move. And the ocean turns into a river. Here's what it looks like. This is the ocean during Hurricane Katrina, 2005. The beach is over there. But the ocean starts moving in, and anything near the beach starts to flood. And that's not just the beach, it's buildings. If there's a hotel on the beach, or somebody's house, or a store, or any kind of building, it could easily flood. This is what happened during Irma in some of those islands, and that's why a lot of people you might have heard had to evacuate, meaning get away. They had to get away because they had to get away from this water. You see this stuff floating around in there? That's a boat. There's trees. See the wind? The beach is over there, but the ocean is moving. It's the craziest thing. It starts moving like a river toward the land, and it starts to flood everything. So you have to get away. The people that are getting this video, this is really dangerous. They're storm chasers, and this is very, very risky for them to be out there. So it picks up a little house right there, like a little shed. Okay, it's not a whole house, a little chair floating in there, and then on top of this, there are also huge waves. And some of those waves were 20 or 30 feet tall. Wait, hold on, watch.
Yeah.
Watch that guy right there. Oh, not anymore. Big wave. Look at this guy. Oh! He's still up. Hands down. Okay, so you guys don't have to worry about this because this will never happen here. Okay? This only happens if you live on the beach. Okay? How far is the beach from here? It's far, right? It takes a little while. Whether you go to the East Coast or the West Coast, it's going to take you a while to get there. You are not close enough to the ocean to have to worry about that. So if you're ever near the beach and there's a storm coming, they're not even going to let you get close to the beach. They're going to say, beach is close today. We got to get away. Storm's coming. So you don't have to worry about all that. And the good news is, today is what, November 1st? This is the last month of hurricane season, so it's almost over. So we don't have to worry about any more hurricanes, hopefully, for the rest of the year. And it doesn't start up again until next June. So we've got a little bit of time, okay? Oh, no, it's okay. We need a break. All right, let's talk about some more storms. Who here has ever been in a thunderstorm? Yeah, raise your hand. All of us, right? So thunderstorms, hands down, they produce rain and wind and what? Lightning. Lightning is electricity in the sky, and it is dangerous, but kind of cool at the same time. So it's actually not just electricity. Lightning is also heat. Each one of those lightning bolts can have a temperature of up to 50,000 degrees. It's hot, not just hotter than the sun, that's 10 times hotter than the surface of the sun. 10 times. And when that lightning strikes, it heats the air to 50,000 degrees. The air gets so hot, it rips apart and explodes. What's that explosion that you hear? Thunder! Every time you guys hear thunder, you are listening to the air explode from being superheated by lightning. It's an explosion. And it happens all the time. We get a lot of thunderstorms. In fact, this whole area, the Tampa Bay area, we are the lightning capital of the United States. What's the name of the hockey team here? The Lightning. Guess why? Because we get a lot of lightning. Yeah, they did that on purpose. We are known for our lightning. Now here's the deal. One thing to remember about lightning, and this is very important. Most of this stuff comes out where the rain is. So when it starts raining, you go inside and you're perfectly safe. But once in a while, one of those lightning bolts, it starts at the top of the cloud. And that could be 50,000 feet up. Those lightning bolts don't go straight down. They shoot off to the side. And they can hit 15 miles away. So there could be a thunderstorm over Lakeland right now. And lightning could still strike near the school. That means it could be sunny and dry. In fact, it may never rain and you could still be struck by lightning if you're outside. Most people that get hit, they say it was a bolt out of the blue. What does that mean? They look up and they see blue skies. Here's what they weren't doing. They weren't using these. These are your two best lightning detectors. Who's got two? Find them. You got them? Alright, here's the deal. If you can hear thunder, you are now close enough to get struck by lightning, okay? So as soon as you hear thunder, you go inside, and you stay inside until you can no longer hear it. Deal? Then you're safe. Even now, this also means after the rain. Sometimes you get a thunderstorm, it rains, and you just want to run outside because it's nice and cool, the rain is over. We wait until we can no longer hear the thunder, because lightning can hit behind the storm too. I have seen our radar at the station, it can track every lightning bolt. There was a thunderstorm this summer that was producing 7,000 lightning strikes an hour. 7,000. It was non-stop. So you've got to pay attention. Now you guys have experienced lightning before, and today's a great day for this. Don't do it right now, maybe later. If you all took off your shoes, get your socks on, and then you shuffled your feet, and then you took your finger, and you run up to your favorite teacher, and you poke him or her, what happens? They get zapped! Well, if you did that in a pitch black room, no light, and you looked at the tip of your finger when you did that, you know what you would see? A little lightning bolt, a little spark. So today and today only, my permission, to go home and zap everybody at home. Because the little lightning that comes out of your finger is not going to hurt you, okay? You can do that all day, nothing's going to happen. It's just the big stuff out of the cloud that we got to worry about, okay? You want to see lightning strike? Okay, everybody, watch really carefully. Here we go. Who wants to see that again? Yeah. All right, ready? All right, here we go. Boom! One more time. All right, here we go. Really exciting, okay. So, okay, everybody put on your scientist hats. We're all scientists for this one. So, what happened there, right? Because the lightning hit. I mean, I saw fire. The tree blows up. I mean, look, there's pieces of the tree over here. Like the whole tree just blew. What made it do that? What about the lightning that makes the tree blow up like that? I mean, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, I mean, he said the key word there. The key word is heat. Right? Remember, the lightning was hot? Okay, so a tree is a plant, and all plants need what? Water! Alright, okay. See if you know this. What happens to water when it gets super hot? It starts with an E. Somebody said it. Who said it? Evaporates. It dries up. It's evaporation too. Good. Both were on the same. Somebody said it back there too. It evaporates. Evaporation turns liquid into a gas. And when it turns into a gas, it expands. It gets bigger. So all that water in the tree, in less than a second, it all got hot and went poof. And it happened so fast, it blows the tree apart. Want to see another one? Yeah. All right, check this. Oh. Uh-oh. Want to see that again? All right. Uh-oh. Okay, now, some interesting things here. Number one, it's not as exciting as a tree. Nothing blew up. Not only that building next to it is much taller. This building is much lower. But it hit the lower building. And not only did it not hit the tallest object, it didn't even hit the top of the taller object. It hit the side. So lightning doesn't always hit the tallest object. It doesn't even hit the top of the tallest object. But guess what? So here's the story here is very different. The people inside that building, they had no idea their building was struck by lightning. Nothing happened. The power stayed on. Everybody inside continued to have a nice day at work. It was loud. When lightning hits where you are, like a building where you are, you see the flash and the sound at the same time. That's how you know that the building got hit, because it would flash, boom. Typically, what? It's flash, and then you wait, and then there's a boom. Because light travels faster to your eyes than the sound can get to your ears. The reason that building doesn't blow up is because it has something called lightning rods. The people that built the building, they thought, we're putting up a building really high up. Lightning might hit it. We should make it lightning proof. That's why it's safe to be inside when there's lightning. Buildings are made to be hit by lightning. You guys know the Empire State Building in New York? It gets hit, on average, 10 to 12 times every time there's a thunderstorm. That could be hundreds of times a year, and no one inside has any idea. What about hail? Anybody ever see hail come out of a thunderstorm? So this is hail. Hail is ice, and it can be the size of a golf ball, a tennis ball, a baseball. That one is the size of a softball. The largest one we've ever seen come out of a thunderstorm was the size of a basketball. It weighed 8 pounds. It was bigger than your head. It was bigger than my big head. I know, it's crazy, right? How could it be so big? Well, it won't happen in Florida. Okay? We don't get hit this big. It happens in places where it's a lot colder. So we do get hail in our thunderstorms, but hail is ice. And to get ice to get down to the ground, you need cold air close to the ground. Our clouds have cold air in them. It's just really high up. So by the time the hail falls all the way down through all this warm air, guess what happens to it? It melts because it's an ice cube. So all we get is either little tiny pieces of ice, or we just get big raindrops. If you're in a thunderstorm and there's like a big raindrop, yeah, those probably used to be hail. Want to see what it looks like during a hailstorm? Okay, so this is from Texas. Look at this. This is golf ball and baseball sized hail. You see all that? As it's hitting the deck or the patio, it's just cracking into pieces. Look at the water, it looks like it's boiling. Look at this. It's so big, it's taking the leaves off of the trees. Isn't that crazy? So it's bouncing around. So the person getting this video, they're under a porch, under a roof. This is still really dangerous because if one of those pieces of ice blows towards you, it could hit you and hurt you, right? I mean, I've been hit by a baseball before, and it hurts, right? I mean, yeah, it hurts, right? Yeah, so imagine if that baseball was made out of ice, and it flew at you at 70 miles an hour. That's what it's like to get hit by hail. It's super painful. Look at that, it breaks a window, and then this person goes outside, and you'll see, it almost looks like snow. There's so much of it. Isn't that crazy? And look at this. Parts of the roof are coming off. That's how big it is. Again, good news. This will never happen here. Woo! All right. Now, sometimes thunderstorms, not only are they strong, but they're in the right place at the right time. And then you can get a tornado. Okay, first of all, we do not get a lot of tornadoes here. Okay? And if we do get a tornado in Polk County, our tornadoes are not very strong. Okay? So, yeah, we rank tornadoes like hurricanes when we start a little low. We go from 0. So you can get a 0 tornado all the way up to a 5. All of our tornadoes here are 0 and 1. Florida has never had a 5. And the last time we even had a 3 was 20 years ago. That's such a long time. You weren't even around. It was such a long time. Your mom was. I was around. But no one else was. I mean, that was almost back to dinosaur time. Here's what they look like. A tornado is a funnel that comes out of a thunderstorm, and it reaches all the way down to the ground. And inside of that funnel, there's wind. And the winds in a 5 can get up to 300 miles per hour. 300. So here's one forming. It starts up as a little thin funnel. Then it starts to get a little bigger. Now it gets wider. Now it gets even wider. 2 tornadoes. And now it combines into one giant half-mile wide tornado. Look how big it gets. Here's another one. Okay, now, other than this video, every other video I'm going to show you is from Tornado Alley, and it was recorded by storm chasers. Storm chasers are crazy. They are crazy people that get paid to chase storms. Their job is to get in the car and drive toward the tornado to get video of it. Here's why we do that. It turns out you cannot just walk up to a tornado and ask it how it's doing. You can't just come up to a tornado, put your hand in there, feel around what is in there, see what it's stuffed with. You can't. It's a tornado. Yeah, so to learn about the tornado, you got to look at it from afar, and you've got to get video of it to figure out what it's doing. So this guy is not a storm chaser, but he's pretty crazy for being out here. And video's a little shaky at first, but then it starts to get smoother. There's a tornado in his neighbor's backyard. Check this out. The wind in his neighbor's backyard is 100 miles an hour. Where he's standing and this guy's just walking around, the wind is 0. There is no wind. The tornado could be this close to you and you would not know it. That's how small they are. They're not like hurricanes where they're like the size of Florida. I mean, it could go a mile from here and you would never see it. But what's dangerous here is all that stuff flying through the air because the tornado picks stuff up. And what goes up, and it doesn't go down inside the tornado, it goes down all around it. And it could fall and hurt you. So if you're ever in an area and you hear tornado warning, you have to get inside, not just because of the tornado, but all the stuff that could be flying in the air around it. Isn't that crazy how close? This guy is so lucky. Want to see another one? Alright, hold on. This one is much clearer. This was last year in Oklahoma. This is a 3. So this is like a stronger tornado. Yeah, it's like a lighter color. It's very different. And look at all that stuff it's picking up. So these guys are a lot closer to it. There's bars. There's nothing in those. No one got hurt in this storm. It was only there for about 20 minutes.